What's up, guys? I'm here with Joerg. We're gonna have a little conversation to hear what his experience was in Casa Kandamy. Maybe ask him a little bit of questions, and overall just hear his experience. So, can you give us a little intro of yourself?
Of course I can. So yeah, my name is Joerg. Hard to pronounce, I know. There is a lot of curiosity around my name. I'm 35. I'm from Germany, Berlin. Not based anymore, so fully remote worker right now. And I work as a programmer, as many other remote workers out there as well. But I guess it's not the nerdy typical part of the programming part, but because I like to move, I like to go out in nature a lot. I like to immerse myself into new adventures, getting to know new cultures and countries, and yeah, basically being thrown into cold water as well. And
A new
yeah,
age programmer.
you could say that there are more of us.
Yeah,
There are
yeah.
more of us. So yeah,
Nice, awesome, cool. I like that. Also, my first question would be, what brought you to Casa Kandami?
yeah. What brought me to Casa Kandami? It's a while ago. I remember. I think last year, start of the year, I messaged you on Instagram because I saw that movement thing on Instagram, and I thought, oh, that's a cool idea. So I think the core part were threefolded for me. One is I like to be off the beaten path in a way. So my type of travel as a remote worker is a bit slower. And therefore, I like to also stay at places where it feels like, how does it feel like living there? And how is the culture and the people there? And for me, those are not the hotspots like Medellin and Bogota, where also there is something in there, but it's not that what I'm looking for. And Tobia, as a tiny village in a way, was definitely one of that part. And then the other part was the movement. I like to train a lot. I like to do all kind of sports, whatever I can do. And the movement were always something that attracted me. There was something called primal flow that I tapped into, and I was like, oh, that looks similar to that, but a bit more holistic in a way. So that was the second part that caught my attention. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. So the movement part, definitely a big part. And then the third one was the nature part, where I saw rapidly after doing some research at Tobia around that there are hiking opportunities, and it's beautiful just being tucked around all those mountains here and hearing all those birds every morning and every day. So I guess it was the three things of immersing myself into local life, seeing somewhere where it's not exactly the hotspots. The second one is the movement part, and the third one is the nature part that I actually were attracted to.
Awesome. That's really good. I really like all that. The I guess a little bit more of an authentic experience with the culture and traveling, not being in the busy areas or the famous spots, but just living a little bit more relaxed or more steady a routine. I know you love the hikes. I think you're definitely the person who hiked the most around this area. I think you spend the most time outdoors, unlike our friend over there, Nash. You guys are like almost the complete opposite. And super interesting to hear more about the movement experience, how you had those expectations or those connections initially, and then hearing your perspective now going through the classes, the morning routines, some of the workshops as well. I would love to hear a little bit more about that. I think that should would be super interesting. And then of course nature with all the hikes, going to the farm. And you did some of the activities as well, which I know you did with Fran and Helen, which are very authentic to this region. Tell me a little bit more, tell us a little bit more about your experience about movement, of what it was or what it meant to you before Casa Kandami, and maybe your experience, your perspective nowadays with doing all these classes.
Yeah, movement. So I guess as I mentioned, like there was my first part that I had with primal flow that was kind of for me always connecting to movement that caught my excitement at one point. And here I felt a mixture of different movement types guided by you. And to start with, I would like to just have the experience of how I saw myself before, and in terms of movement and my training, and then how that might have impact that. So I thought, going to the gym regularly, 2, 3 times a week, doing my stuff, kind of free floating in a more that way. I thought that I have a good strength already and built stuff up. And then I came here and I had that structural class, which was 2 times a week, upper body, lower body, rhythm and repetition for 6 weeks. I actually realized that I do not know a lot and that I do not have the core strength to do anything. And I came with problems in a way, like my shoulder, we had that issue. And I realized that there was a lot of essentials missing. So through the classes that has been guided, through the exercise that we did that were relatively new, almost all of them, and how it has been composited together, that that actually helped me to build a sculpture muscle and the foundation which actually now allows me that how I feel now I'm empowered to do more other stuff. And I think that's the way of movement I think now after having those classes.
I was not expecting that. That was awesome. Gracias, Joerg. That was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I think you had a background in a little bit of flow, a little bit of movement on the ground, primal flow, like you said. You do a lot of, you have a long morning practice, right? Sitting, shaking a little bit. So there's some elements that we're a little bit familiar here, but we kind of structured it, as you said, practiced quite often. It was the same material for 6 weeks, but we added little progressions and just layered it little by little. And it's a learning experience, I think, from my behalf. But it's really nice to hear it from you. Is there anything in particularly that was really enjoyable for you? Like, what was the most enjoyable part of the classes, of the little movement sessions that we would have? Personally, from your taste, what did you enjoy the most?
Or the least.
Or the least, yeah, let's do that too.
Yeah, I think the most enjoyment for me brought this combination of seriousness
Okay.
and the combination of playfulness. So this switching between it. I think there were always movements where I really loved, which were more flow driven. Like that step out. I think was how that was called.
Which one? Where we
The step here on that we did.
the step behind.
Step
Yeah,
behind.
the one we've been doing
That's the
on
one.
the lower body. So the
Exactly.
one we did yesterday.
Something like
Now.
that I really liked.
From locomotion.
Yeah,
Locomotion.
exactly. Where it's a bit more floaty.
Yeah, you move a little bit more.
Exactly.
Sequence of steps.
Yes, that was something I liked. I mean, I liked that one Saturday we did that little session. I think the three of us were playing around a bit more,
Yeah,
being
yeah.
playful, like grown-up kids.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like that really. But then on the other hand, there's a time for me where I just really like to push and not think about it too much. So that was also the training session that we had during the week where I'm like, fuck it, let's just go,
Get
right?
it done.
And not exactly get it done and go for it, sweat, and then that's it. I actually like that part a lot as well at
Nice.
the same time.
Nice.
Maybe there's one thing I can add, which kind of I was reflecting on, and just want to share that with you, anyways. Um, I realized some patterns that I have when I'm being instructed and educated about things. That I have the tendency to be impatient, to get things. I want to do things. I don't want to listen to it all the time. That I get impatient on it, and then I get a bit frustrated and like aside when it takes too long. But then when I do it, I actually realize, fuck, I didn't listen. I didn't know what to do anymore.
I missed all the details.
Exactly. So I realized also based on that how important that part of education and coaching actually is that I didn't realize before. And one thing I really appreciate about you and how that program is set up, that I had the feeling that you mastered that, because I still feel like I'm being triggered, but you're not being triggered. Maybe you are, but how you are basically operating is still a lot of patience, a lot of simplicity, and like being very empathetic instead of contradicting that. And I really enjoyed that. It's like being, oh, I just sit with it, reflect that myself, and then understanding, oh wow, he's doing a good job about that, because now I changed that. So I really want to mention that I appreciate that about your type of coaching, your type of educating. That this is really part that I was surprised of.
Man. Wow, it's amazing. Thank you again, man. Yeah, I guess this is what I love. I love movement, and I also love teaching, and practicing, and all these are things that I've learned also in through the practice that I speak about sometimes here in Casa Kandamy. And so also being a student and realizing those changes that do occur, like, oh fuck, I'm being triggered right now, but what they're saying, or the feedback that I'm getting, and then like also having the capacity, or little by little taking those steps to, like, chill, put yourself aside. You're here to get better, and this person is not doing it for any personal or out to get you. They just want you. They're helping you improve on the areas that maybe you're lacking. And it wasn't anything intentional. Like, it's never, I'm going to do this to York, or I'm going to do this to Nash, or anybody. It's just, this is, we're here in a group, we're here in a community, and we're all going to do the same thing. And this is what we're trying to cultivate together as a group. And yeah, there are days where, like, oh, fuck, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to listen to this, or whatever. And like when somebody else is, hey, they're paying attention, they're doing it. Oh, look, they're doing it a little bit better. Maybe I should pay attention. And I guess let's talk a little bit about community, which I think is really interesting. As somebody who's traveling, somebody who is has an interest for movement. Coming to Casa Kandami, where we cultivate these areas. How did you find it as a co-living, as just a space where you share with others who maybe have the similar interests? Occasionally, you find people who don't. But yeah, how has been your experience here in regards to the community, not only with movement but work, and maybe just like sharing the space with others? ¿Cuánto llevamos?
Community. I need to laugh a bit. And it's kind of, for me, it always depends on the phase where I'm at myself right now. And therefore, my 2 month here has been the perfect month and the perfect phase with the perfect community. That's how I felt about it. And it completely aligned with me. That doesn't necessarily mean that it aligns with everyone at any stage, right? But what I really liked about it is that it unfolded organically, and there's nothing forced in it. So it felt like literally we would do co-living, like we just live together. Of course, of course, one time, like this inhabitant, for example.
Okay, he's like, there's a bird out there.
So yeah, the organic part of it, I really like that it's just living together and sharing space together, instead of forcing talks, forcing, oh, we need to do something together tonight or tomorrow, and we need to plan all of that.
Yeah.
It felt for me perfectly aligned, because I just wanted to live day by day and live into it and flow into it and how it unfolds. And here I had exactly that chance. So it was kind of, if there was in the evening discussions, there had been discussions. Even though it was unplanned, I wanted to go to bed, we just stood out for late, right? And had nice discussions in there. If we meet for dinner, cooking, then it was meant to be like that. If not, it was also okay. So for me, it was really great that to have the space that I needed, and then to give others also the space. Plus, I really enjoy to be around with people who share the value of movement and having a strong foundation as a routine. Because you have a strong routine, mesh as well and not very disciplined in that way. And it made me very motivated to tap into my own routine and stick to it as well, and it felt very much in line. So I like that part of it as
I
well.
think you're leading the routine for sure. Yeah. Awesome. That's a really. I also relate to that as somebody who lives here in Casa Kandamy, is constantly sharing with you guys, and in a way, kind of holding this space together. I try not to be too intense. I try to be intense with a few things, and movement for sure is one of those, and having some sort of routine and schedule. So it's nice that you felt that time and space to share with others, that you didn't have to, but that you could. And I also share a lot with what you said about the chats and the dinners. Everybody kind of has like different schedules and eating habits as well. Um, and for us to kind of come together at the table without it being planned is nice, and just kind of chat. um, I would have liked a few more movie nights to just chill, but show you guys a few documentaries. But that's cool. That's cool. These guys are early birds for sure. But yeah, we definitely had really good chats. I really enjoyed that. And also the weekend activities. Some weekends were really chill, while others, like last weekend, was really active with the agrofloristy in the farm, and then the hike to the swimming holes. And then Sunday was pretty chill, right? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I guess so. Oh, I guess we had the movie night. Awesome, awesome. Is there anything else that you would like the people to know? For me to know, anything that you want to share? I know we have a few minutes, and so I just want to give you the time and the space for you to share as you would like.
Thank you. Yeah, I guess I'm actually really grateful for having that space and the people around me that allowed me to, let's say, focus on exactly what I need to focus on right now on my time of life. And that helped me to deepen my practice, deepen my routines, even trust like whatever I do even more so, and having that space here to experience that. And the other part is just a big thanks to not just you, but also Doña Imelda, Lina, Diego, Camilo, for sure, our beloved perro. It was just amazing to be around it, and it felt so, again, like so organically and so easy to be around and accepted. I think that's also a big thing. If I will be back, like in the big city, the life will be a bit different. And here I really felt like, you know what, just do what the fuck you want to do and need to do, right? And if that is right now the journey, then just do it. And everyone is on their own. So I really felt that there was a space for that I could tap into, and it was exactly the right moment, exactly the right space, exactly with the right people. So appreciation. Thank you.
No, I also want to thank you very much. Thank you for sharing all that. And yeah, we appreciate having you here. It was an amazing time. 2 months went by too quick. We hope to have you here sooner rather than later. And it was an amazing experience for us to have you here. Your energy is amazing. Your calmness, your attitude towards your work, but also towards your interests. And I think for me, just being super authentic. Always kind of prioritizing your higher self, and taking care of yourself, and then you, since it does so well for you, it it permeates to the others, and it also made me feel very good. I know Milon really enjoyed you as well, and I think everybody who spent their time here in Casa Kandami with yourself had a great time. So thank you for choosing us. Thank you for staying here, and thank you for everything, man. Awesome. Thanks, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you for the chat. Always a good time.
Yeah, I mean it that way. Yeah, absolutely. So it was
Likewise.
great.
Awesome.